up, guys? Y'all already know what it is. Dream chasers. We have one life to live. We're not getting any younger. I have to be the best me I can be. You got to be the best you can be. So, I want to talk about this video, and it's why I do what I do. So, I'll start off with my personal life. Why did I quit working for somebody else to go into business for myself? It's long term. I'm constantly, all right, I'll just go into an example. So there was 1 month I looked at the spreadsheet of what I made, and it was a slow month. I had COVID that month, and I still grossed the company $25,000 that month profit, or gross, gross income, whatever. And for that month, I made about 10% of that, give or take. Actually, no, it was less than that because I was sick and missed like 2 weeks of work. So there's that. And so the reason I quit my job was because if I stay with that company and save in a 401k or from retirement fund, it's a risk. Will I have enough money to live off of when I get ready to retire at 70? Or will I even be able to retire? Or do I take a chance to go to work for myself, learn how to run a successful business, and have the potential to make, in 5 years, $25,000 a month, and then be able to leave an inheritance for my children's children, right? So that's just kind of why I quit my job. But the real reason I made this video, and the real reason I do what I do, like what I do with these videos, and you can talk to people like Shane and my wife and people that I talk to every single day about the things that I learn. It's because I want to inform people to get educated. Like, people are just living this grandiose, everything's good life, and taking vacations, living check to check, eating out all the time, and not thinking about the future. And I just want you to get informed about what you're doing in life, because eventually stuff is going to happen in your life. Like, all right, let's just say, use you for an example. Say you get sick and you can't work for a month. They say statistically, illness, death, and divorce are the three main causes for bankruptcy. And so get informed. I heard this saying a few times, don't let schooling get in the way of your education. And really, just to be blunt, I am blown away about how much people do not care about their life. And it blows my mind. Like, that's why I say we have one life to live every video. Because you literally only have one of these things. And you are running out of time. You know what I mean? And so you're just going to sit down and watch some movie on Netflix instead of, learning about how life works, like interest rates and compounding interest, and what even is a 401k? Why was it created? The fees that are involved, that takes 2/3 of your retirement. You put up all the money, you take all the risk, but only get 30% of all the money. See, but you don't know about this because you're sitting down watching Netflix and chill, or taking vacations, spending the only money you got. It's like, let me put it on this credit card that's charging 25% interest. You know what I mean? Like, get educated. Like, okay, you want to know how the rich keep getting richer and you and I just keep getting poorer and poorer? It's because they're educated. Because they study and they learn loopholes. Like, I was watching this one documentary about the economic collapse in 2008. They did a bunch of pretty much illegal stuff, very unethical stuff, and it's these huge banks. Well, if they fail, the economy fails. The government realized it and was like, hey, we're going to give y'all, we printed $1 trillion, and we're going to give all this money to you guys so y'all don't collapse. That just made them richer. They're just smarter than us. So not only did the big banks take all these people who had no idea what they're doing, took their money, got rich off of it, while collapsing the economy, and then had the government pay them $1 trillion for it. Is it ethnically right? No. Was it illegal? They can't prove it. They can't prove that they've done anything illegal. But I'm just saying, they're smarter than people living paycheck to paycheck. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, they're taking your 401k and making your money off of it and then giving you crumbs. So if you do have a 401k, like, look into it. Like, what are you actually invested in? Don't just be like, oh, mutual funds. Well, what are those mutual funds? What are the stocks or bonds or what makes up that fund? How much fees are they charging y'all? What is the compound interest of the money that you could make versus the compounding cost? You see what I'm saying? And so, like, I do these videos to just encourage y'all, man. The reason we are in the shape we are is because we're uneducated. And so I was listening to a sermon a week or two ago, and it said that the enemy attacks you in places you are ignorant, right? If you're ignorant in that aspect, it's easy to manipulate that aspect, right? So think about it as in darkness. If you're in darkness, you don't know where you're going. So of course the enemy could, or the devil, or whatever, the negative, or whatever you want to call it, could easily manipulate in that aspect. And so get educated. The Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. The Bible also says that above all else, seek wisdom. The Bible also says that Jesus was the light and life of all mankind. He was the light, not the darkness, not the ignorance. He was the information. He was the wisdom of all mankind. So if God would just so much impress in the Word of God to get knowledge and get understanding, get educated, it's for a reason. See, a lot of people it's just the blind leading the blind. Like, a good example is my boss talking about a 401k, and I did it. I was uneducated about it. And we all grew up talking, the way to retire was put money in a savings account, and just continue to do that. And by the time you get ready to retire, you'll have $1 million in the bank. There's two problems with that, a bunch of problems really. But okay, saving money in a bank, you're getting 0.1% interest on your money in the bank. Rise of inflation is 6%, so you're losing money by saving it. $1 million ain't gonna get you far nowadays. And why would I want to work my entire life away to be able to retire at 70? First of all, I have to live 70 years in order to even retire. That's foolish to me. That's not a life that I want. That's not a life I want for you guys. I don't want y'all to have to struggle and work yourself to the bone your entire life to make somebody else rich, so that you have to work your entire life away that you may be able to retire. You probably might have to work, the way everything's going, you might have to work your entire life until the day you die or get sick, and then you end up in a hospital. Then you lose your home because you can't afford it, because you don't have any savings because of the rise of inflation, so on and so forth. Now you're in a nursing home, you done lost everything. You see what I'm saying? I don't want that for you guys. So like, I make these YouTube videos for education, man, to maybe spark an interest, like, hey, there's something other to this life than what I've been doing. Let's see. And if I can get you to think. See, I listened to an audio book. The name of it was called Outwitting the Devil, or Outwitting Satan, by Napoleon Hill. Fantastic book. And in that book, Satan was just basically, it was like an interview. And Satan was like, oh yeah, I attack people's ignorance, I attack their finances, and I make them wage slaves. And so it's just, it ain't the life, man. It ain't the life you want to live. Why? How is it logically make sense that you're forced to wake up at 6 o'clock every morning and scramble to get to a job where you're making somebody else rich, and be told that, you should be thankful because it's a privilege? How does that make sense? And you do that your entire life. No, dude, that ain't it. So let me back up. I do these videos to give you education. And in Napoleon Hill's book, it said that Satan himself said the people who can think for themselves, Satan cannot mess with them because they're thinkers. Thinkers rule the world, man. And so you got to also think about this. I've heard a saying many, many times my entire life is, leaders are readers and readers become leaders. Warren Buffett reads 4 to 6 hours a day. Get educated. Think. Learn how to think for yourself. Because if I would have done what my boss told me, if I would have let him think for me, I would still be working 50 hours a week for no money at all, putting money in a 401k that I'm actually losing. I actually looked at it before I canceled it, and I'm down 10%. I'm losing money by retiring. I was losing money. I would put money in my 401k and I would lose it just off the interest in the markets. See, another thing that y'all don't know, or y'all might, and I hope y'all do, and if you don't, learn about it. But the 401k is an unsecured investment. It's unsecured. Now they have other options like life insurance that they're supposed to be, secured. And you can put in you can say, let's say $1 million policy. You can put $1 million in and borrow against it. Well, then the interest that's on that loan goes back into your account. See, you go get a loan from the bank and it's like 3% interest. Well, you pay your note and you're paying at 3% interest. Well, that 3% goes to the bank. Well, an insurance policy, that 3% goes back into your account. But also, when I was studying the economic collapse of 2008, AIG, which is a huge insurance firm, they were buying these mortgage securities, and they were in debt. The government had to save them. The Fed had to save them. And so really, like, what is security? Instead of putting your money in the bank, buy assets. And by assets, I mean real estate, gold, silver, business. I don't like stocks, but I mean stocks and all that stuff because I can't get cash flow. Like businesses, I can get cash flow from, and real estate, I can get cash flow from. But like stocks, I mean, some people love them, a lot of people love them and do great with them. Cool. But I want something that's going to generate revenue. Now, I don't have $40 million or $40 billion like Warren Buffett to live off of the dividends on that. So that's why I'm kind of like, when I got some extra cash and I want to play the stock market, I'll buy some calls or some puts or something. But, man, I do all this not only for you to be educated about finances, but I want you to be educated about personal growth. I want you to be spiritually mature. I want you to love. Like, I want you to love your life. I want you to love others. I want you to reach your full potential. Like I do. I want everybody that watches this, I want you to reach your full potential. I want you to be spiritually fit, like on fire, man. Like, just when you walk in a room, you're an atmosphere changer. I don't care if I'm having a bad day. I have joy, and so every building I walk into, every person I try to talk to, I try to influence them. I try to brighten up their day. If I can brighten up their day with just my attitude walking in, like I want to be an atmosphere changer. When I walk in, I brighten people's day up. That's my goal on spiritual things. And then, of course, the finances and so on and so forth. But like, man, stop sleeping. Wake up. I do this and y'all think, oh, Steve's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? But man, no, bruh. Wake up. You got one life to live. But anyhow, I'm rambling. Man, get educated and grow and be the best you that you can be, man. Life is short. I love you guys. It was on my chest, so I had to make it. See y'all later.